Welcome back, welcome home, current and future homeowners. It's Justin Simmons, your local real estate agent. Today we're talking about two updates to the CityFHEPS program. These are big, so stay tuned. First one is there is a new payment standard in effect. The payment standard is simply the maximum amount of rent that you can charge for a CityFHEPS apartment. It's based on a number of different factors, including how many bedrooms are in your apartment, the amount, the utilities included in the rent, and the fuel source of those utilities, oil versus natural gas versus electric. All right, so the payment standard changed what happened July 1st, and the payment standard has both gone up a little bit and gone down a little bit depending on your specific scenario. So let's give an example so we can illustrate what I mean. First, in this example, we're just gonna assume we're renting out a 2-bedroom apartment with all utilities included. The heat, the hot water, and the cooking gas are all powered by natural gas, and of course we have electricity as well. In this instance, the maximum amount of rent that you can charge for this apartment is $3,058 per month, which is a slight increase from the previous year where it was $3,027 per month. All right, but let's complicate this scenario. Assuming you're only including heat and hot water in the rent, and the tenant will be responsible for their own electricity and cooking gas. In that instance, the maximum amount of rent that you can charge is $2,881 per month, which is actually a slight decrease from last year where it would have been $2,885 per month, right? And we're seeing that across the board, whether you're talking about a studio, 1-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom and up. Now, the reason for that is that the city has given more weight to the utilities. So if you include them, you get a little bit of a bump. If you don't include them or don't include all of them, you're likely going to be looking at a little bit of a decrease. That also will change depending on the fuel source of your utilities, right? So if you have all electric, for example, your heat, hot water, cooking, and of course your lights are all electric, then that actually gives you a bit of a bump. There's a credit because electricity tends to be more cost effective, right? And if you have oil heat, for example, or hot water, then you lose a bit because that's less effective and less efficient and more costly. All right, so that's the payment standard change. Also, you may have heard about the fact that there is no longer, as of July 1st, 2025, a landlord incentive hold bonus. So previously, when you rented an apartment to a CityFHEPS tenant, you would sign a 1-year lease, so you would get 12 months of rent, plus an additional bonus month, a unit hold, for holding that apartment for the time it took to get the package processed, right? So you can get 13 months rent for a 12-year lease. Quick note here, there's actually a lawsuit in effect right now that has blocked the cancellation of the landlord unit hold incentive. So CityFHEPS is still providing it to landlords. We will have more updates regarding the case and the final result as things progress. Now back to the video. They still do, however, have the CityFHEPS supplemental, which is basically, hey, when I rent this apartment to a new tenant, so this is a first time rental, not a lease renewal, I can get up to 4 months of rent at once. And the city on their end guarantees they're gonna pay the first month's rent in full, and then they will pay their portion of the next 3 months rent, right? Which could be the entire amount if the tenant doesn't have a share to pay, or a lesser amount if the tenant does have their own share to pay. So it could be up to 4 months that they give you when that tenant first moves in. All right, but if you're looking for a tenant, if you have problems with going through the process of pre-clearance or inspection or anything else and looking for assistance, please feel free to give me a call directly. I'm always happy to help. My number is 917-254-2103. You can also fill out a form down below. I have my landlord intake, I have the tenant intake, and you can also get your own homeowner's guide, which has more information about CityFHEPS as well as other resources for homeowners across the city. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.